Okay, we're recording. Hey, everybody. I cannot imagine a better way to start out a Monday than with a training with Diamond Ambassador Jessica Hefley. You guys, Jessica is one of my dear friends, and she has been just an incredible influence and mentor in my life over the past several years. She's taught me so much about my faith in God. Like, she's challenged me spiritually. She's challenged me and encouraged me to level up in many, many ways in my business. I admire her. She's so full of joy. And I love and admire her ability to like be a rock star, double diamond household, because Jess is a diamond and her husband, Rob, is a diamond as well. But she also, and Jess, this is from the outside looking in, and I know that this isn't always, but you're balanced and you create boundaries and you are just one of the healthiest humans that I know. And so I love you. I'm so grateful for you. And one area that Jessica is super passionate about is money mindset. And I know that she's seen this in her team, and this is something she really trains her team on. And she sees this as an area that just can hold so many people back from reaching their fullest potential in this business, but also in life. And so, Jessica, you are definitely, in my eyes, the expert on this topic. And I'm just so grateful for your willingness to hop on here with my team so that they can just hear from you and hear all of your wisdom and brilliance on this topic. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wow. Hi, everybody. We have a lot to talk about. So I need you to get a paper and pen. This is going to be super interactive. I want to hear from you. We're going to do some exercises, some work things. Let me first and foremost start by saying that was so nice, Melissa. I would accredit the huge reason why I am successful is God and therapy. Counseling, I am serious. It is a tax write-off, and we're going to be talking about that. You literally get tax deductions for continued education. And so if anything I talked about today, you're really feeling like avoidance to or uncomfortable about, or you're like, that's not that big of a deal, okay, keep doing what you're doing and seeing if you get very much further. Okay, we've got to keep evaluating. If something isn't working, then we've got to ask questions, pivot, hire a professional, or somebody with godly wisdom to help us get back on track. If what you're doing is working and you have the perfect life with the perfect business and the perfect marriage and the perfect amount of money, keep doing your thing and you're a freaking unicorn, okay? Because I don't think that's anybody. Just this past week, I mean, in full transparency, you always sometimes just see the highlight reel, is that we were having, different levels, different devils. We were just having another conflict in the area of money. And so in the last week, we've hired a EFT therapist, which is emotionally focused therapy, because me and my husband both have wounds about how we handle money. We have different expectations. We have different ways that he wants to handle it, that I want to handle it. And there was major conflict. So we're bringing somebody in to help us understand what's the riff underneath that. I also have hired for myself a financial coach. This isn't an investment person. This is someone to help me with the nitty gritty about our specific details. And so I'm excited about that. Anyways, so just so you know, things keep going well because I keep asking for help. And it's uncomfortable. And but leaders are not avoiders, right? Right. So let me put that in the comments. Leaders are not avoiders. Okay, starting off, piece of paper. I want you all to write your dream yearly income with Plexus. Okay, what would be your dream? And if, like, say your dream is diamond, well, let's go figure out about how much a diamond makes. Let's always know kind of those numbers. That's another area of avoidance. That's okay. We're gonna bring up lots of things. We've all got it. Okay, so nobody feel bad. We're also gonna we'll talk about that in a minute. We're talking about shame and mistakes around money as well. Okay, so we're not gonna let anything hold us back from our full potential and ultimately our ultimate purpose. Okay, money is just a tool. Let me start. Well, I keep getting all over the place. Start up. Let me write that down so I don't forget to tell you about that though. Okay, I want you to write down your dream income, your dream yearly income with Plexus. Okay, what you think that you will be at. What do you think you will be at someday? What I mean, you all have got, where you want to be. What's your dream? Okay, I want you to write that down. I'm not going to force you to share this, but I need you to tangibly write a number down on your piece of paper. Okay. Let's start with, let me get oh no, it's right here. Okay, this is my analogy of what a rock is. It's like a candle holder. But first, side note, what do I have a picture of on here? Anybody know what that scene is? It's in Paris. Okay, if you don't have a visual of what your dreams are, that is one of the most powerful things that I have done in my career. If you know my story, when I joined, I printed out a picture of Hawaii. I printed out a picture of the Lexus that I was going to get when I went Emerald, and I put it on my fridge, and I put a small one in my car, and I saw it every day because those helped remind me, and it literally does something to your brain about what's possible for you. Because most of our life we thought, oh, that's not possible for me. I'm not good enough. I'm not whatever. But the repetitiveness, the repeat of things that are important and goals that you have is super, super important. But that's not why I really want to do the analogy. Let's pretend this is a brick. Okay. This is a brick. Now, this is just a brick, right? It's just a brick. Yeah, here and there. It's a brick. Nothing exciting. Here. But what can I do with this brick? With this brick, I can go build the foundation of a hospital or a charity or a church. Isn't that awesome? This little old brick can literally be the foundation of a church or a hospital or something so special. This brick, I also can take this brick. I'm going to throw it through your windshield, steal your purse and your Ray-Ban sunglasses and your CDs. Okay, that's what I can do with this brick. Okay, now is this brick good or evil? No, this is just a brick. But what you can do with this brick makes all of the difference. And so if you're like me and you grew up in the church and you grew up hearing all the time that money was bad, I'm going to tell you, money is not bad. Money is neither good nor bad. There are people who do really bad things with it, and there are people who do really good things with it, and you're the good guys. You're the good guys. And so we need more money in the hands of these good women who are going to do good things with it. A huge shift for me was that or just a simple thing that I relearned this weekend, is there's a difference in your ultimate goal wanting to be rich or in your ultimate goal wanting to be a good steward of what God has entrusted you with, and a good steward of what to do with that money. Hold on one second. My dog just came in and my front door is wide open. Okay, so sorry. Okay, first of all, stop trying to be normal. Normal is boring. You're in a profession that is not normal. Okay, so if you want to be normal, go back to trading your time for money. Okay, actually being in a physical, this book just, oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. I've read so many of my books and I have not read this simple one, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Like, it just reminded me of so many things, and from my childhood, because I had the poor dad who had a good job, but he wasn't doing financial things with it. Anyways, okay, so stop trying to be normal. Okay, so if you're trying to get your financial advice or how to live your life or how to have time freedom, if you're trying to get that from your friend who is an executive or who even is a teacher, like, there's nothing wrong with these things. There's nothing wrong with those professions. Melissa used to be a teacher. You know what I'm saying? A teacher is not going to, they don't have the ability to think in the lines of, what can I do to create wealth? What can I do so I can actually be making more money than when I was a teacher and still be home with my kids? Like, it is a whole entire different mindset. So let's just become aware of how entirely different this mindset is. Okay, I want you guys to give me examples. I'm gonna need you guys to write some things here in the comments. Scarcity and abundance. Those words can seem so ambiguous, so big, so like, what does that even mean? Okay, here we're going to put some clarity to it. I want you in the comments, when you think of somebody who has a scarcity mentality, what are some of their traits? What are some ways that they think, that ways that they act, things that they say? Let's put these in the comments. Like someone who has scarcity, or as I like to call it, just a fixed mindset. You know them. You don't like to be around them. Okay, so never enough, hoarding. They're always broke. No one will listen to me. There are woe is me. And let's listen. Woe is me. They're negative. They're stingy. They're controlling. They're unwilling to change. Do you understand that everything I'm saying really doesn't even have to do with money at all? Okay, these are all, are you taking note of this? I want you to be writing some of these down. Like, have a piece of paper that says scarcity, and then we're going to do abundance. But I want you to take note, because we've all fallen into this category. We all may be living fully in this category right now, or we all have had stints and seasons in this category. Okay, this has nothing to do with money. This is what is so fascinating. Why people are staying broke or stuck or at that same rank for years and years and years has to do with something else. Okay, so let's go over with some. I'm still reading some of these things from a fixed mindset. They're scared. They won't think out. They can't think outside of the box. They like to rain on other. Don't like when other people succeed, so they're not cheering for them. They are comfortable with mediocrity. They're comfortable with being normal. They feel rejection. They never have enough. Okay, are you getting what are you understanding what I'm feeling here? Raise your hand if you have experienced some of these emotions yourself at one time or another. Okay, the very first piece in money mindset or anything is awareness. Okay, is the awareness that this is going to bring. Okay, so that's great. Let's put some categories of your most favorite people in the world. Who is, when you think of somebody who like has it together, has good boundaries, healthy family, well off financially, contributing to the world, experiencing, I'm listing, sorry, some of these off. Put some comments on abundance or a growth mindset. What are some characteristics of somebody like that? Put them in the comments. Oh, scroll down. They're bold. They cheer for others. They embrace change. There's enough for everyone. They're selfless. They're coachable. They're generous. They learn from their mistakes. Ooh, these are good. They take risks. They give thanks in all circumstances. They set goals. They're working from a place of calm. They're working. I mean, are you even noticing the tone of my voice? I never do this on purpose, but you can literally tell. Like, my voice is peaceful. My voice is calm. My voice is soothing. When I was reading that other list, I was like, rah, 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 yeah. Nobody wants to be those things. And so it literally affects your body. So this for this exercise, I just want to just become so aware of where you may be or what you want to be. Okay. It's so hard to change someone's. Well, here's the thing. When anybody has ever gone to me and said, do this, change this, here's your problem, it's never taken heart to me. I usually actually shut them down. I'm not going to pay much attention to them. And that is where, as part as, as being a good coach, like you guys are in this business, are coaches to other people. It is so important for you to learn how to ask people good questions to help them bring about the awareness on their own. And one very simple question as far as it comes to money mindset is, if you or somebody else has ever said it, you can ask them, have you ever said, I can't afford that? So simple. The literal phrase, I can't afford that. I'm like, duh. If someone says, I can't afford that, or I'm scared to death to do that, it's like, scarcity, scarcity, scarcity. You're probably going to stay stuck. Let's get you out of there. So these are very, very tangible ways to become aware of that. Okay, let me tell you a little bit more about my story with money. I grew up very lower middle class. I'm the oldest of 5 kids. So we had our youngest one is adopted. He was in foster care, and then we adopted him. So most of my life, there's us, the four older kids. We were all 2 years apart. Had great parents. My dad worked in a glass factory, PPG. They literally made glass. It was very hot. It's hot in a glass factory. They make glass by heat. He wore steel-toed boots and safety goggles. And most of my childhood, he was working swing shift in the factory. And so swing shift is where you work 7 days, 8 to 4, you get 1 day off. 7 days, 4 to midnight, 2 days off. And then 7 days of midnight shift. Overnight shift. Can you mute somebody that's off? So that was his life. That was our life. And we never went without. However, I never dreamed. I never asked my parents. I knew the answer would be no. We never went out to eat. Oh, dear Lord, never went out to eat. And by the chance, if we did that one time a year, we got water, only water, never an appetizer, never a dessert. And we split it where we could. And so I want you to understand where I came from. Now being toward the very top of Plexus, me and Rob combined are making $1 million a year. And so my dad on a family of 6 was making around $30,000 a year. And so, but what I want you to become aware of, whether you came from not very much money or you came from a lot of money, you probably have some money issues that we can work through. I came from this side of, oh my goodness, we're making this money. I need to hoard it. I need to save it or it'll be gone. And then Rob came from the mindset of he didn't, and all of that was because I didn't believe I was worthy of the money. Now, Rob also didn't believe he was worthy of the money. However, his way of coping with that was like, oh, there's money in the bank. We better spend it on something fun before it's gone. We better spend it on what we want to do to live it up. And so both of those, we're separate ends of the spectrum. Both of those are unhealthy. Where we've got to go is to a healthy medium where we are not avoiding 3 areas. We're going to talk about 3 areas of avoidance with money: in your past, your current, and your future. Okay, so your past. We've all made mistakes with money. I think it always helps me when I know I'm not alone. So if you have ever made a stupid purchase decision, if you any mistake, bought a house you shouldn't have, a car you shouldn't have, any money mistake, raise your hand. Anything. Okay. Every single person here has made a money mistake. Okay, but this is also a scheme of the enemy, is to make you come into agreement with believing a lie that you are bad with money. Okay, y'all, I've been doing a spiritual warfare series and I am super passionate about it. It's on the You're Worth It podcast. I'm on episode 5. I've been teaching a study here at my house, and then I've been recapping it each week on there. And it's not a topic that is scary. It's as simple as you bought a house too young and it was too expensive and you felt dumb. Okay. And so Satan wants you to believe you're bad with money. You're dumb. Okay. So anytime you try to do something that's going to increase your growth, increase your business, increase your paycheck, increase your influence, increase your significance, Satan's going to be like, you're dumb. Like, you made that mistake, you're going to make mistakes again. Like he is always, awareness is a huge piece in spiritual warfare as well, to understand the condemning voice. Like, when you hear from the Lord, that is uplifting and wanting you to change and inspiring you to be different and partnering with you. When you hear that condemning voice from the enemy, it's like, you're not good enough. You're bad. You made a mistake. You're a horrible wife. You're a horrible mother. You're bad with money. You don't deserve to be a jewel. Do you know who you are? Do you know where you came from? Like, those are all lies from the enemy. And so the first piece in fighting back is understanding that that is a scheme from the enemy. Okay. Because again, he does not want money in the hands of good people. And so if he can continue to make you or deceive you into making those agreements that you're not good with it, or that money is bad, okay, or that money is evil, or that suffering is your lot in life, y'all, we're all going to suffer at some form or another. It doesn't matter if you have $1 million or not. So don't think that you're not going to suffer because you have money. It's going to come in different ways. But I just want you guys to learn, to be able to learn to be good stewards of it. So the first part is from your past is forgiveness, like forgiving yourself from what, and becoming aware of whatever lie you had believed about money. I'm going to read you a list of some things. If any of these catch your mind, write them down. Okay. These are different thoughts and beliefs about money. This might help stir some creative juices or help you become aware of, you may not have thought this was um, an issue for you. Okay. You can't be rich and spiritual. Money isn't important. And never go into debt. Save your money for a rainy day. Rich people are lucky. Rich people are, I'm going to just label off a lot of them off. If any of these resonate with you, write them down. Rich people are gross, selfish, entitled, snobby, shallow, full of themselves, holier than thou. You have to work hard to make money. You can't make money doing plexus. You can't make money doing what you love. It's too irresponsible. Oh, I'm too irresponsible. I'm too lazy to make money. I'm too clueless to make money. It's not polite to talk about money. It's important to have a good, secure job. If you get excited about making money, it means you're shallow. Money doesn't grow on trees. I don't want to be a sellout. You have to sacrifice having a good life to make money. Money is out of my reach. Okay. I want you, did everybody at least write one of those down? I'm going to read them through again real quick. So write down at least, I want to say at least 3 that really, really come to mind. If there's more, absolutely write every single one that comes to mind. Okay. You can't be rich and spiritual. Money isn't important. People are. Never go into debt. Save your money for a rainy day. Rich people are lucky, gross, selfish, entitled, snobby, shallow, egomaniacs, holier than thou. You have to work hard to make money. You can't make money doing plexus. You can't make money doing what you love. I'm too irresponsible to make money. I'm too lazy to make money. I'm too clueless to make money. It's not polite to talk about money. It's important to have a good, secure job. If you're getting excited by making money, it means you're shallow. Money doesn't grow on trees. You have to sacrifice having a good life to make money. Money is out of my reach. Always have a backup plan. Okay. So here's the deal. We are accountable to what we make things mean to us. Okay. Just like the money, it all has to do down with what you think, what your meaning is to money. So we are accountable to what we make money mean to us. Okay. So if you're having a hang up with money or one of these really struck with you, the deal is you have a couple options. You can either choose to keep this belief and stay stuck in your plexus business or quit your plexus business because it's out of, this is what you believe, or you can change what it means about you. You can change the meaning of this. And this was so eye-opening for me. This happened. I'm so grateful. I had a life coach who revealed this to me, and it's been life-changing. We were having the conversation of, because again, before, you knew my situation, I didn't come from money. And so I was making good money and I was feeling so gross about it. Like I was feeling like shameful. I was feeling guilty. Like we had a house cleaner. I'm like, I'm not going to tell my church friends I have a house cleaner because they can't afford that. They're going to judge me. Like all these things from my mindset was still in that me. Okay. I'm thinking about, what are they going to think about me? Okay. I wasn't thinking about the fact that when I hire a housekeeper and someone to come do my laundry, then that frees up time for me to be with my kids. That frees up time for me to grow my business and do something that I love or enjoy and can make such a greater impact. Okay. We've also got to get through the lie that doing dishes makes you the ultimate wife. That also is a normal way to think. And I'm very biblical, so I'm not going against the Bible here. Like Proverbs 31 woman had help. She had hired help who helped her with her empire, who helped her be able to be a good mother and wife and businesswoman. And so help. Okay. So anyways, so back to when I was talking to my life coach about feeling guilty about a housekeeper, and he was asking me good questions, and we got on the topic of money. And he was also saying, I was talking about, I was so worried about my kids being spoiled. And I was like, it makes me so uncomfortable. Like, I mean, we're going to be able to afford to buy our kids a car or pay for their college, but I don't want them to be spoiled. And he was just super calm. This is such a good therapist or a good life coach. And he was like, oh, interesting. And why would they be spoiled again? And I was like, well, I mean, like if I buy them a car, that means they're spoiled. And he was like, but does that really what that means? And so we had to go back and figure out the lies that I was believing about money. And three of the biggest lies that I was believing about money was people who have money are spoiled and entitled. Okay. This was a true belief that I had from my childhood. It is so much easier to judge people who have something that you don't, instead of coming to the grips, being honest with yourself. And really is you wish you had what they had. And so when I was in college and I had this beat up $500 old Ford Taurus with rust, and my other friends their parents were buying them brand new cars, it was much easier to say, ugh, those spoiled brats. Oh my gosh, their parents can afford to buy them that. I work hard for my money. I work hard. I'm holier than thou. I am better than them. Look how much more character I have. That was easier than just to be honest with, man, that stinks. That'd be so nice if my parents could afford to do that. Same thing with spring. These are just people tell you the things you remember from your childhood. You think they're not significant, but they are. And so for some reason, I would always remember people who could go on spring break vacations. We never ever did. And so I'd always be like, oh, those spoiled people going skiing for spring break, when really, oh my gosh, I wanted to go to the beach so bad. But we would always go out to Montana to visit my aunt and stay with her for free, which is cool now. But when you're a kid, you're like, Mom, I just want to go to the beach. Okay. I digress. So, but this was very powerful. Okay. Until I became recognized that this was something that was stopping me back. Okay. Because my belief was people who had money are spoiled or entitled. Oh, hear my hacking dog. I'm so sorry. Okay. So I could continue to have that belief, and I would continue to live every day of my life in my Plexus career feeling bad and shameful and gross. And I'm literally closing my body up right now. Okay. That's not a way to live, because the truth is money provides freedoms, options, and fun. Okay. That's the truth. That's the truth about money. And so I had to change what my truth was around money. And I never would have if I hadn't become aware that this actually was an area that was holding me back. And this is real. Like there was a girl in our team once who subconsciously, what she had made an agreement with, what she thought if you were a jewel, you had to carry a Louis Vuitton and you had to be gorgeous and you had to do all these things. And she was like, I don't want to do that. And so, which again is not the truth, but that was the meaning she had attached to that. So she was subconsciously holding herself back from ever even going for jewel, for going for that level, because of the meaning that she had attached to someone at that level. And so I just want to really encourage you guys to explore, because you guys, and I want to empower you as coaches for your team. You have people who day one say, oh yeah, I want to be a jewel. I want to be an emerald. And then they never do anything. And the reason they don't is become some sort of fear or some sort of belief that they have. Okay. And money is a big issue that holds a lot of people back. Okay. Another lie that I had believed about money. My dad worked in a factory, right? And so I remember my dad would say things like, oh, the company man came to visit today. Can you believe how much money they make? They're robbing us. They need to make less money and give us some more of that money. My dad's a good person, but that's such an unhealthy way to view money. Okay, so I thought subconsciously then that if I was making good money, then I must be taking money away from somebody else. ooh, that feels gross. My dad hated people like that. You know what I'm saying? And so that was like another huge eye opener that is not the truth. Okay, me growing my Plexus business is providing more opportunities for other people. Me making more money is not taking money away from someone else. I heard this analogy once and it was so eye opening. And she was like, okay, say, I'm me and Melissa are out to lunch and I offer her a sandwich. And because Melissa knows that there are dying, starving people, children in Africa, she goes, oh, I can't take that sandwich. There are children that are starving in Africa. Sandwich right in front of Melissa's face has nothing to do with the children in Africa. We can't ship that sandwich and ship it to Africa. It would take 2 weeks. It would be moldy and it would be nasty. Okay. But that's what we get stuck in. The thing of, oh, I can't receive good thing. But this is where I was. So I can't receive or have good things because other people are poor and don't have things. Okay. What if I invite you to switch the way you think about that and think of, if I make more money, then I will be able to help poor people have more as well. Like it's just a shift in mindset from a guilt, like, oh, I can't have I had another example of this is another girl on my team. Her husband was a preacher. And so he was like, I'm not going to drive that Lexus. When you get that Lexus, we ain't getting it. Okay. He literally, because of his pride or because of the meaning that he had attached to Lexus, because he, it was something that was of wealth, and he knew the demographic of their congregation. And so do you understand, something that is given to you for free, he was going to refuse to have and drive because of them, but it had nothing to do with that. It had to do with the meaning that he had attached to people who drive Lexuses. Okay. Are you guys getting, or okay, I hate Zoom. Sometimes we can't talk. Are we getting some breakthroughs? Are you guys understanding? I would love to hear, like, well, can we pause for like a second and maybe have I would love a couple of your jewels to speak up and say, what is something that's you become aware of just now? Like, is there any even if you've done tons of work, there's always going to be more things to work on. Is there any sort of awareness that has come up for you?
Vicki Brown is breaking through.
Woo! Break free. What? Like, tell me something. Tell me more. What's a lie or what?
I mean, I think that a lot of it has to do with like what you're saying, like you can't ship the sandwich. I just remember like whenever we were kids and it would be like, well, you didn't eat everything on your plate. And like, there are starving children in Africa that need food. So eat your dinner. And I'm like, well, what is that? What does me having an upset stomach have anything to do with, a child not being able to eat in Africa? I feel like what you're saying, as far as more money I make, the more I can help other people. It's so true. And I feel like I do have a guilt, Jessica, sometimes about people on my team who work really hard and don't make the same amount of money as I do. Like, I feel like that's something that holds me back. Like, well, I can't be making any more money because I already have people on my team who bust their butt and work really hard and are so incredible and so smart and have such great influence and have all the things, yet they're not making the same amount of money as me. And that's not fair. Like, I tend to feel that a lot. And this just, I feel like, frees me from that in a sense. I will have to admit that like it still is a lump in my throat, but I feel like it's pushing me out of that
So
too.
good. So good. A couple of things I wrote down when you were talking, because this is things therapists have brought up for me, is that I don't have to justify or explain or feel bad about what God has entrusted me with. That was another thing. Like, I always have to felt like I had to explain, oh, but I work really hard, or oh, but it's not as many. No, like, God has entrusted you with this business. God's entrusted you with the amount of income that you have, and it's somebody else's business but you and him, what you do with that. Also, that's not fair. Instant red flag. That is a scarcity mentality.
My husband hates it. Nothing he hates more than for me or my kids to say that it's not fair.
I want things to be fair. But that also, yeah. But another thing is good boundaries. In that, where was I going? when you said, because I have felt guilt too, well, with my family especially, because my family says they work really hard on their plexus business. So I was over here feeling guilty. I was making like the gap between us, like senior gold and diamond, like was humongous, you know, and
Yes.
so I was feeling this guilt and shame about that. However, I had to have good boundaries and understand I invested in therapy when I didn't have the money to do it. I invested in reading that book on mindset when they said they didn't have the time to do that. I took multiple steps that an abundance mindset person, that a growth mindset person would take to get me out of my situation. If I can tell you anything, I want to empower you that you are able to get out of the situation that you are currently in. That also is a lie of the enemy and a scarcity mentality to say nothing will ever change. Things will always stay the same. That is a lie. That is an agreement that you have made. And that is simply not the truth. That is a fixed way to think. You are problem solvers. Leaders are problem solvers. Okay, leaders are not avoiders, but leaders are also problem solvers. And they kind of go hand in hand because it's so much easier to avoid the uncomfortable things. But to get over the uncomfortable things, we've got to figure out a way to problem solve. So thank you for sharing that. Anybody else want to share real quick before we move on? An aha that they may be having?
I'm a diamond now, and I still tell myself like, I'm not good with money. I've never been good with money. And I've taken definite steps where it's like, we're saving, we're doing stuff, but it's like all or nothing for me. It seems like sometimes like I'm either spending everything or I'm saving everything. So I think I've definitely told that lie to myself over and over. Like we were broke before Plexus and I'll never be good with money. I totally tell myself that all the time.
All right, I love this. Okay. Even this little piece, you guys, you are going to start to become aware of these things after this call for weeks and months and years to come. And kudos to you. This is huge. This is huge. This is empowering you as leaders. This is helping you become problem solvers. Okay. The thing is you have a choice. So you're going to become aware of these things and you have a choice what to do with that information. And you can continue to partner with that lie and it's going to keep you in the fixed scarcity. I'm a victim. This is my circumstances in life. Or you can become aware of, or it's just so simple to become aware of them. And in that, what area of your life is causing you anxiety, avoidance, fear, like any of those areas? And a good leader takes the time to be introspective, takes the time to pause and investigate those things that are going on. And so please continue this exercise. Good leaders ask good questions. I mean, it's one of John Maxwell's best books. Like you just have to learn as you learn. I ask my team good questions because I ask myself good questions. And that's where the discipline starts. That's where we have, and that's how I talk to God. Like let me teach, side note, let me teach you this real quick. Like a discipline that I have when I talk to God is I will sit down with a journal and I will like ask a question. Like, what really happened in that fight with that person? What really just happened in this disagreement? And he'll tell me an answer and I'll write it down and I'll be like, but I'll just keep asking questions and keep writing his answers. Keep asking, but why, until you cry. Like, it's so easy for it to be like, but why aren't you a jewel? Oh, because I'm too busy. And I'm like, but why are you too busy? But why? But why? And then you get to the point where they start crying. That is the root. That is the literal, oh my goodness. I'm going to show you this as we're talking on this topic. We're just throwing all this stuff in there too, because it all is connected. I was not planning on sharing this, but it's connected. Okay. This is called, I am learning how to do freedom prayer, which is so similar to therapy. Here's the deal. We all believe lies. This is a picture of a tree. Okay. A tree has roots. Hang with me here for just a second. A tree has roots. So these are lies that we believed. Okay. So some of them may be, I am worthless. I am unlovable. I am afraid. I am alone. I have to take care of myself. I'm in control. I am stupid. I never should have been there. I'm going to die. I'm a failure. Like, these are not exhaustive lists, but I'm sure we all can relate to at least one of those. Okay, so the lies, the roots are what are feeding this tree. And what becomes about because of these lies we believe, the bulk of the tree is that we may be mad, or we may be sad, or we may be scared, fearful, anxious, lonely, bitter, frustrated, mad. Okay, that's how the tree is. But what the fruit that we bear because of we're mad, sad, or scared, we may have apathy or self-harm. We may have addictions, anger, isolation, panic attacks, performance issues. Those are the fruit. All of this is coming from believing a lie. The root is a lie that we have believed. And it's the same thing with money. We've got to get to the root lie that we have believed about money. So thank you for sharing that too. Because the biggest thing is avoidance. And so with any goal, like you were just speaking up and sharing, she's like, some days I do well, some days I don't. What do we do in our Plexus business? We have to know what our goal is, and we have to have accountability to get there. And that is the same thing with finances. And the same thing as you're coaching your teams, they're saying, I need to get $500. I've got to get this minivan payment. And my husband's, he's on my back. He thinks I'm wasting time. I've got to get to Ruby level. Okay. So they've told you that. Okay. So that is an area that you now have permission to hold them accountable to help them get to that. Because they have to know where they are going. They have to know what their goal is. And then they need somebody to help them hold accountable. And so us at the jewel level or higher level, like, that's why I'm like, hire a coach, hire a therapist, get some accountability, get a sideline friend, because in secrecy, like, things just die in secrecy. And so we need to have that accountability for that. So good thoughts. Okay. So we covered of the avoidance areas. Okay. Our past is when we might have some guilt or shame or over bad decisions, or you may have guilt. So let's apply this to our Plexus business. You may feel a lot of shame about what rank you are at, or you may have lost rank. Okay. Those also, let's bring some light to those things. Those do not mean that you're a horrible person. That does not mean that you will never rank up. That does not mean that you cannot be successful in the future. Those are lies. Okay. So whatever guilt or shame you're feeling about your past, let's bring some awareness to that. For our current situation, our avoidance is a lot of that list I listed off. Like, we have to become aware of even what our money issues are, or where we're getting stuck up at. And then the last one is avoidance of the future. Okay. So we have to, I want us to be good stewards of money. And I'm preaching to the choir here because this was they always say the area of your life where you've had the most pain will be your biggest ministry. And I've avoided that because money has often been a hardship for us, but I feel that the Lord is calling me he continues to call me to get it in order and continue to teach people along the way. Another lie of the enemy is like, well, I'm no expert. I'm no Susie Ortman. I'm no Dave Ramsey. So who do you think you are? Okay, stop that in its tracks. Just like with anything that you are learning about, you do not have to be an expert to teach somebody else something that you're learning. Okay. But if God is calling you to, or if you're on a certain subject, certain topic, share that information. That is also an abundance mindset. Share that information. I'm on this call because I believe in abundance. I believe in sharing what I'm learning, helping, empowering other people. And I'm really passionate about this topic. So for the future, go back to that number that you guys wrote down at the beginning of the call. Okay, so there's a number. Okay, I'm so proud of you guys for like putting pen to paper. Like, that is so amazing. I'm so proud of you guys. Okay, now what I want you to do with that number is I want you to cross it off. Some of you guys ain't crossing it off. I can see you. And I want you to double it. And I want you to write that number. What? Okay. This one lie that we believe is that money is capped. Money ain't capped. Okay. Income ain't capped. Celeste ain't a cap for anybody. Okay. This is an infinite possibility. Okay. God has called us to this business. What I feel called because it helps sets people free. Okay. I know that I'm called to help set people free emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Okay. Whatever you feel called to, you're helping set people free physically. These products help set people free. You have a purpose and it is big. And there are millions of people in this world. And when you have that growth mindset, that abundance mindset, you are never going to run out of people. Okay. So if that that might have brought up a lie for you. If you're like, I've used up all my network, I don't have anybody else to talk to, then you are not thinking of an endless possibility of when you go get your dog to be groomed, you talk to the secretary and you add her on Facebook. I just went to an appointment where I'm getting some oxygen therapy. I've added them on Facebook. Like and I'm an introvert. Okay. So don't give me that crap of I'm shy. Like I can be great on camera, but again, if you see me in person and I'm not very talkative, please don't judge me. I'm not rude. I'm not a mean person. I'm just an introvert. And so for me to talk to them, I got to do something that I would much rather avoid. But I'm operating from my place of purpose. Okay. When we're operating out of, oh, I'm too shy. What if they judge me? Again, those are me mentalities, fixed mentalities, scarcity mentalities. Okay. But if I'm like, I know that I have something to offer and I know that people need it. And most of the people who need it never talk about how they need it. They're not talking about their endometriosis pain all over Facebook. Okay. They're not talking about their infertility issues on Instagram. Okay. They're not talking about the painful autoimmune disorder that they've had for 10 years and doctors tell them there's nothing else they can do about it. Okay. And if they are talking about Facebook, that's a great intro to a wonderful conversation to learn more. Okay. But you just gotta, if anything, y'all, we're better than that. Like we are called here for a purpose and a mission, and it is big. And anything that is trying to keep you small is a lie and a ploy from the enemy to keep you small, because life changers and world changers, he wants everything to stop you from that. And how he tries to stop you from that is conflict in your marriage. All these issues of I'm not good enough from whenever you were in 4th grade and the girl made fun of you. I'm not laughing at that. Like that's a legitimate reason. Like people, if they're unaware that 4th grade bully is still affecting their 40-year-old self, it is until you become aware of it and you deal with it. But we're just called to so much more. So I don't want anything to be a stumbling block from your income, from reaching the next rank in this business, from using that money for good things. And so just become, if I could leave you with anything, I want to talk, we have a few minutes, like I want to take questions or talk or whatever, is a growth mindset in and of itself is becoming aware when you're avoiding something's causing anxiety or fear. And then they have that choice. I am not a fearless person. I am just more aware because I've taught myself to be more aware of when something scares me, to figure out why it does, and then to do it. I make a choice. And most normal people don't make that a choice. They just avoid, but you ain't normal. Amen. You ain't normal. Melissa, is your team normal? I don't think so. I do not think so. Let's talk. Okay. I want to hear any thoughts or questions or anything. What was helpful? What was a lie you believed?
Don't be shy, you guys. This is your chance to talk to Jessica.
I'll go.
Hi.
I'm walking, so I'm not sure if you can hear the wind might be blowing. But one thing a lie that I think I believe is that I'm not smart enough to figure out the best way to rank up or retain customers, even though all the resources are out there. So therefore I feel kind of silly. Like I beat myself up over it and then I just kind of waller there instead of moving forward.
Okay. So your excuse, I feel dumb, is so a ploy of the enemy. That was a lie. And I bet you, if you look at some childhood memories, you're going to have felt that multiple times. this almost makes me want to do another exercise, and maybe Melissa can have you guys do this at another call because it's going to take a little bit of time. But well, first of all, Rich Dad Poor Dad helped me understand. He talks multiple times is that people feel so intimidated by money just because they lack information, they lack knowledge. And so I was reading this and I was like, I feel so intimidated by investing. Like I feel so dumb, so stupid. I have so much shame that we haven't been doing more of it. But then I was like, take a deep breath. What's a podcast that I can go and listen to and feel a little bit more empowered on this topic and a little bit less dumb? And it's as simple as that. But I think it was as simple as me choosing not to avoid it, because I could continue, because it is a huge, overwhelming topic, whatever it is for you, like whether it's, you said, how to work your business. And a couple of things I would ask you is, do you have protected work hours? And have you invested in somebody to hold you accountable? Like, are you learning from somebody and do you have somebody to hold you accountable? This reminded me of one thing I forgot to talk to you guys about, which I think is really important, is money has the power to eliminate a lot of stress from your life. Money and intentionality. And what I mean by that is that, like, I have assistants, I have somebody who does you don't have to be $1 million diamond to do these things. Do you understand? There is a high school kid that's in your youth group that you can pay $10 an hour and it is worth it. That's another exchange. Like if you're still thinking, oh, that cost, that's a scarcity mentality. You have to understand what you're worth. And you have to have you guys ever figured out, Melissa, have you ever had them figure out how much their time, like how much they make an hour? Okay, here's an exercise. I'm going to give you a couple of these things, and Melissa, you can do this with them later, but okay, say you work 10 or 20 hours a week, I don't know, on your Plexus business. This is very important on return on investment. Okay, so say you work your Plexus business, $20. I need a calculator. You have to go and see how much you made last year. Y'all got W-2s, and then you divide that by 52, which is how much you make each week, and then divide that by hour, and see if you're sticking to working, 15 hours a week, and that's how much you make. And if you actually stuck within your 15 hours a week, how much are you making an hour? And that will help you understand, like you're probably making $25 an hour, I don't know, $200 an hour. People are aware of this. And so if you're making $25 an hour, for you to pay someone $10 an hour, you are still making money, where you then can go and focus on your Plexus business and make even more money. Okay, so the concept of I'm saving money by doing it myself is a lie, is BS. And if you legitimately can't afford that yet, then that has to be your next goal. Like, I need to be able to afford help. So what can I do in my Plexus business? Where can I get up early or stay up late to be able to afford that help, to afford me the freedom? An exercise that I have people do is they would map out what their ideal average day would look like. So I'm talking about, what is the ultimate best Tuesday you could ever have in your life? I'm not talking about going to Fiji. I mean, that's probably, like my ultimate day. But I'm talking about, we got life, we got kids, we got things. So Tuesday, with your imagination and with pen and paper, this is an exercise that you can do. We don't have time to hash this out, but from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, what would be the most perfect Tuesday? Like, would that look like, I woke up and I got a cup of coffee and I read before the children got up. I was so peaceful. The children are up. Their lunches were already packed the night before by my assistant. We just threw them in their backpack. I go and take them to school. We get to listen to a fun song. We have a good conversation. I drop them off. I go to the gym, hit up my Zumba class, which I so enjoy, which I don't, but maybe that's you. I hate Zumba, but just think of an example. Okay, then I go home, and from 10 to 12, I already have my to-do list of everything I'm going to do on my Plexus business. I knock it out. And then at noon, I go to lunch with my husband. We get to go and have massages. We have a wonderful afternoon date. I pick my kids up from school. I get to be present with them. I get to do homework with them. I get to read with them. I get to play outside while my assistant is doing the dishes, moving the laundry, preparing the dinner. We sit down at the table. We have a wonderful dinner together. I put my kids in bed. I work another solid hour on my Plexus business, and I go take a bath. Okay, but do you understand? Like, that sounds like a pretty awesome day. There's no reason that can't be your every single day. All that takes is some intention. And it might be, you may be avoiding hiring an assistant, or that may be uncomfortable. Yeah, you're going to have to communicate with them what needs to be done. But you see what I'm saying? Like, how peaceful that day was. I made an impact in my business. I worked out on my body. I spent time with my husband. I spent time with my kids. I got to take a time by myself and take a bath. Like, I got to do everything I've ever wanted. And that is the beauty with network marketing. That is the picture I want to paint for you, that we all think, you may see other businesses and they're like, flying in private jets and, doing all these things. I'm like, that's all great and all that stuff. But I want to have a perfect Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, because we can. Okay. What kind of sparked this interest to me is Rachel Hollis' Start Today journal, but Jen Hawkins, years ago, she went to John Maxwell's house. She was part of something he was doing. And she asked him what he does for self-care. And he said he has a masseuse come to their house and gives him and his wife a massage every night. And I thought, so again, if you're not there yet, that's okay, but you're good enough to go get a massage once a month. And so when I heard that, I was like, why can't we have somebody come to our house and give us a massage? Don't have to be every day. But I started doing that. I bought a massage table for my husband. It was $100 on Amazon for Christmas. And we had someone come to our house. Like, why not? So anyways, I just am inspired by these things. Take them to the version of where you're at, but understand that is a complete possibility for you. The income that you just crossed out and doubled, that's a complete possibility for you. And if you're still hung up on the fact that it's not, I'm going to invite you to ask yourself some questions, ask the Lord some questions, ask trusted friends, your leaders some questions, and help you get some awareness and some unstuck with this so you can live free. Okay. Because this is a life of freedom. And that's, I believe we are called to have freedom in Christ. And that means freeing ourselves up from these emotions that snag us and keep us from living to all that we are called to be and impacting all that we are called to do. Y'all, like, a heart of mine is adoptions. Like, it literally breaks my heart that someone has to fundraise $30,000 because they have a heart that wants to take care of a baby. Like, that ain't right. And so this was one of the stories I heard from Dave Ramsey. Was one time because he teaches you at the end, to live like no one else. When he tells the story of this couple who, because they had been following wise money principles, they knew someone at their church was going for adoption. They just dropped by their house one day and wrote them a $15,000 check. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. That's doing good with the brick. Okay. Satan will want you to think, oh no, don't even think about adoption. It's $30,000. Don't even think about it. Okay. What? Suck it, Satan. Like, if I'm called to adopt, let's provide a way to do that. And for you and other people, and let's let you be the conduit to provide that for somebody. Okay. So anyways, I've talked enough. My pits are sweaty. What do you think, Melissa?
Thank you, Jess. Oh my gosh, I love you so much, friend. We have a lot of people in ministry on our team. We have a lot of missionaries on our team. We have a lot of teachers on our team. We have so many women that over the past 7 years that I have been in conversations with. I love your brick analogy. That's such a good one because I've tried to have that conversation with so many people over the years and I don't think I've ever quite nailed it like that. And that just makes it so clear, the power that we can, when we put money in good people's hands, the impact that we can have. But overall, scarcity mindset, abundance mindset, these are all things that we together as a team have really focused on and worked on so hard together. And so money is not something I really typically talk about with my people. And so thank you so much for coming in and filling that gap so well. Can y'all tell Jessica thank you in the chat and give her some virtual hugs and kisses and waves, just to tell her how much we appreciate her. Jess, seriously, I know you're so busy and you have amazing boundaries. I was so scared to ask you to do this, not because I thought you'd tell me no, because I want to respect your boundaries.
Well, it's really sweet. It's special to me, and I would definitely do this for you. Definitely.
Oh, thank you for investing in my team. I love these women, and they're pretty amazing. So, love you, friend. Have an amazing.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.